Hello and welcome. Why are you laughing instantly? I can't.
I was gonna do like a chainsaw run sound. You do it too.
Sound. Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Life is Daijoubu's Chainsaw Man special. I don't know what it's gonna be called on YouTube. I literally got to make it up in the next hour. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be talking about today the very first episode of Chainsaw Man. The first half of the podcast episode will be us just talking about the episode without spoilers. And then the later half will be talking about full-on spoilers. And probably right at the very end, we're going to be talking about the manga where it is today. A chapter came out today as well. So It seems like we're going to have Chainsaw Man Tuesday, like Super Chainsaw Man Tuesday, because every Tuesday we're going to get an episode of the anime and a chapter of the manga, which is kind of crazy.
Wait, they're doing weekly manga now?
It seems like they're going back to weekly.
It's probably go back weekly and then like flip flop between bi-weekly and weekly, whatever he feels like. I think like he did the Shonen Jump Plus thing to like kind of have the freedom to do bi-weekly, weekly, whenever he wanted.
Yeah, if he wants a little more time on a chapter.
Tatsuki Fujimoto, that is.
Wait, so it's on...
It's on Manga Plus and the Shonen Jump app.
Oh, it's on both?
Well, he's talking about the actual magazine it's printed in.
Oh, okay.
It's in Jump Plus, the magazine.
Okay.
It's a digital magazine. It's like kind of like they had a... It's like for like a bunch of hodgepodge of different kind of manga on an app rather than having on a specific manga for like different demographics. Like Shonen Jump is like younger kids, and then there's Young Jump, which is for older adults, and then there's like Jump Square, which is a monthly for kids.
You're talking about the magazine specifically, not the app.
Yeah, the magazines.
Well, Jump Plus is a digital magazine.
Yeah, it's a digital magazine. It has a bunch of different... It's a magazine,
but...
Okay.
It has a bunch of different manga that like doesn't really cater to one age group.
Yeah.
But I think in most of the manga are like usually for more adult audience.
Is it Boruto and Jump Square? I believe it's in Jump Square.
It's V Jump.
Oh, V Jump.
It's where like all the spin-offs go.
Because I know Dragon Ball Super's there too.
Yeah, it's where like all the spin-offs go to be aired. Like if it's a sequel, then they'll put in V Jump, which is more video game oriented, but they also have like sequel manga in there.
Interesting.
So I'm assuming that the Shonen series, I guess is what we'll call it, franchise.
Shueisha?
Shueisha. Is that like the parent company?
They're the parent company of it all.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's like the biggest producer of manga, like
basically,
publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
like
actually,
Shueisha, Kodansha.
Yeah, it's funny because like Wikipedia says Kodansha's
the
largest.
That's American.
Kodansha's the largest manga publisher, but Shueisha,
I thought Shueisha was bigger.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Shueisha probably makes a lot more money than Kodansha.
Oh, totally. Because Shueisha doesn't miss. Their stuff is always like, slaps.
For years, Weekly Shonen Jump has been the highest selling manga magazine of all time.
So I'm assuming they've got tons of guys that just curate all the content to make sure it's like top tier.
Yeah, they usually pick the best stuff. It's like, this is the stuff that we want in our magazine.
Yeah.
Even stuff that's going to get canceled, they make sure it's like, it's a good one shot. If you can keep it up, you can cancel. I'm pretty sure it's more stricter. Like, hey, if you can't keep popularity within like 13 weeks, we're axing you.
If you're really curious about the whole process, you should ought to read or watch an anime called Bakuman.
Oh, I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah,
one.
it really goes into depth with a lot of that stuff.
That's a Weekly Shonen Jump manga about publishing in Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah, I really enjoyed reading it. It was a fun.
How many chapters was it?
I don't know, like a little less than 200 probably.
So it's an anime too?
Yeah, it's complete too. It's start to end, I believe.
Bakuman. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I think you just watched the anime. It's like complete.
It's made by the Death Note guys.
Yeah. So as I remember, you said that like in both the manga and the subbed anime they call it Jump, but in the dub they call it Jack.
Yeah, they don't call it. They don't. It's such a. I showed you that. Like, it's so dumb, dude.
It's like it's official Weekly Shonen Jump manga. Just call it Jump.
Bakuman. Well, enough of that. We're talking about Chainsaw Man today.
What's that mildew? It smells like mildew or something. Like it smells like
I don't smell it.
Something wet, something like
it's probably just a carpet.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, we're talking about Chainsaw Man like we were saying. It is the very first episode of the Chainsaw Man special. So let's do it. We're going to jump right into the episode. I mean, we don't really need to talk about anything else other than the episode. We'll let you know when we get to the spoiler section. So if you're not looking for spoilers, you can dip out. But for now, let's just stay spoiler free. So episode 1 of Chainsaw Man. So before we get into the episode, actually, let's talk about the intro. What did you guys think about the intro?
The opening?
The opening, yeah.
I liked it.
So apparently I looked it up. Apparently there's a bunch of movie references.
Yeah. Almost every scene is a movie reference.
Yeah. Like there's one where the guy's on the table. It's like, why is Kobeni on the table?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, why the freak is she like
and
backing out of the table?
And it's a reference
like
to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yep. And then the scene with Keisha Bay, he's holding up the pistol. That's Pulp Fiction with Samuel Jackson doing the same thing. Like they're like shot for shot too. Like it's obvious.
I'm gonna have to look up all of what they.
There's a bunch of people that have
copied.
been posting like side by side comparisons.
Yeah, they
it's
did
cool.
it
That's
quick,
really
too.
cool because I remember when I was watching, I was like, why does some of this stuff look familiar? Like what? And it's not like I was like,
So-
maybe it's from the manga, but a lot of the scenes I'm
And
like,
it goes
no, I
by
don't
so
remember
fast.
This.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
realize it.
So Fujimoto is a big movie buff. He likes
Yeah.
movies.
That's why I really think like they just really picked his brain what they wanted to do for the intro. Because like
Or
I
maybe
mean, there's
he
the whole
himself,
sequence of them being in the movie theater, all the characters,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's one of the things that Fujimoto does. Every single
Yeah.
one of his productions or manga or whatever has a scene at the movies.
Yeah. And there's I think, or maybe he like went down there and say, "Hey, can you reference all these movies in the opening?" Thanks.
They could have
bye."
been like that, yeah. There's one other thing. I don't know if it's a movie or not, but I know it's like a painting or like an old portrait where there's the person standing on top of the newspaper looking over the wall, and the person that's not standing on top of the newspaper looking at the wall and whatever's on the wall. There's the scene in the intro with Aki standing on the ground looking at the wall with Makima on top of the newspaper looking over the wall. So that's another one of the references.
Yeah.
That's probably a movie somewhere or something, but I know of it as the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's a scene in the manga with where Denji and Makima are in the hotel room and she's going to the door. That's apparently like a reference to like a painting, an old painting.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't have a painting behind it as well. It's kind of like it's not the painting, but it's like I think the painting behind him is a reference.
It actually is the painting behind them.
It is.
It's like
okay.
symbolic.
You guys will see that in a later episode.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But anyway, so I really liked the intro. I remember hearing the song before, and I was like, I don't know if I care that much about the song. But when you see the visuals with the song, it makes it a lot better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, I think it's very fitting for the anime, like for what's on screen. Because even after listening to the song, I was like, yeah, this isn't something I would just listen to, but. I mean, it's with the visuals. I think.
Yeah,
it works.
I still agree with that. I don't think I'd ever really like. It's a fun song. It's not like something I put in a playlist. I don't think though.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it'll grow on you after you keep listening.
It could.
Yeah.
It very well could. That said, though, jumping to the end of the episode with the the ending song, that was a good song. That was a that was a banger. I did enjoy that one. I could see myself putting that one in a playlist of some kind. That was a fun one. I don't know. I don't know if we rate them or anything because supposedly all the outros are going to be different every single week. So
it's probably just have something about chainsaw every.
Yeah. We'll just bring them up every single week. I think they got a bunch of like popular Japanese artists to do them. I don't remember the list, but they had the lineup in one of the things.
Man, they put a lot out for this little anime. This little.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they kind of knew. I think they kind of knew how much hype was behind it and like that it was worth doing it.
Maybe a lot of these bands read the manga. It's like, I want to do a song for Chainsaw Man.
Honestly, though, what if like a bunch of these bands did that and like, well, I guess we'll just make a bunch of endings or something.
I was kind of disappointed that there's no visuals. It's
for the
just
ending,
credit.
it's just
a credit.
Yeah.
I hope it's not all of that, but yeah,
it's just credits.
Yeah,
freaking ripped to all the homies that their names are actually on that.
Yeah.
We can't read it though, so.
I saw an interesting one. It said Psy Games Pictures is like, wait, they make anime now. They're making movies now.
Who's that?
Psy Games. They're the guys behind Dragalia Lost, and I said this on like the anime podcast.
You said it literally the other day.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did CG stuff.
Probably.
Or maybe backgrounds.
Speaking of CG,
yeah, I guess it's kind of the elephant in the room, the CG in the show.
Mappa does it better. It still looks a little awkward, but it looks way better than most stuff that comes out.
I can agree.
You know what it reminded me of was Beastars. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not.
I mean, I watched the first season with you.
Yeah, it was very like their way they walk around, and especially when Chainsaw Man turns into Chainsaw Man, it was like reminds me of Beastars. I don't think that's a good or bad thing. That's just, I guess,
it's just a thing.
It's just a thing. Yeah,
it's like the the Berserk anime, like you see beautiful, like especially the movies and the 2016 show, you see like beautiful hand-drawn animation, then you see the CG, and it just, that gif of Guts just walking awkwardly like a robot. It's like, this is supposed to be a dark, serious show, and you do that to Guts. But this CG, like at times you could see the stiff movement, but most of the time it was pretty good.
I think for me, the reason why I dislike CG is because it looks too fluid, actually.
Yeah,
I don't like how smooth the movement is.
Yeah, sometimes like they do, when some people do CG, they will like drop it a few frames to like match the animation.
Yeah.
But that one was a bit fluid. So if they like had like cut a few frames from the thing, it would have looked more natural.
That said, I don't dislike the CG for Chainsaw Man. There were definitely some scenes that was much more noticeable than others. But I didn't think it was inherently bad, like I have seen with other CG and other shows.
It had detail on the characters. At times there's just detail that like on the model that matched the 2D animation. It's like it tells you that, wow, at least they're trying with the CG.
I mean, a lot of times I'm comparing it to Attack on Titan's Mappa CG.
Yeah.
Because like Wit Studios CG for Attack on Titan's not very good, but I always thought Mappa's CG was pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And I imagine it's got a lot to do with the lighting and everything, and I think that's kind of what they're going for with Chainsaw Man.
You know, I think they need to just render all these CGs in like Unreal 5, because Unreal 5 and 4 can do pretty much anything. And like,
yeah, I'd be curious. I know. Yeah. I think you said earlier there were some studios doing that.
The Mandalorian, or Industrial Light and Magic, they use Unreal 4.
Unreal 4.
Yeah, and they used Unreal 4. I'm pretty sure they're gonna move to Unreal 5 to do it.
Yeah,
because things I've seen with Unreal 5 are amazing.
It is
Unreal.
Oh, gosh,
yeah, it's Unreal.
Guy, you beat me, dude. Dang.
Sorry. Just go ahead. What were you gonna say, Cole? Is it what?
Oh, is it Unreal?
Yeah, better believe it. It's actually more real. You won't believe it's real. That it's unreal.
I think we played up the joke enough.
Yeah, I know. I ruined it. I'm sorry. I killed it.
So what did you guys think? Do you guys think with the CG was okay? Were you fine with it? Was it a little blaring or?
It wasn't bad. Like, it was better than most. It's like, hey, they actually made an effort there. Like I said, there is some times where it did look stiff, but
yeah, I
think if they keep doing it at that level, I won't mind it, and it's easier on the animators to do it. They could have done the whole show in CG and been like, yeah, this is our show. But they said when Chainsaw Man's on there that he's gonna mostly be there, and like the zombie devil that they had, he was mostly 2D.
Yeah, I never noticed when he was CG personally.
Yeah, there's some parts, like I think with the tentacles where he's CG, but yeah, he's was pretty much 2D, and sometimes they were CG, but most of the zombies were mostly 2D for the most part, especially when he's chopping them up. Like when you see him chop them, that's clearly 2D animation.
Yeah. What do you think, Sky?
I didn't hate it. It's not like, I think I'm kind of with you, Cole. CG's not like my favorite thing. It wasn't bad, but it was noticeable, and I'm usually in the camp of you don't want your audience to notice things like that. But it's not terrible. I mean, I've seen really bad CGI, and I've also seen stuff like Beastars where it's all CGI, so it's like,
I think that's where it's difficult, is where it's the mix.
Yeah.
It's the half and half. That said, while there was a bit of a mix, I wouldn't say, like, the scenes that weren't CG compared to the scenes that were CG, like, the transitions were relatively good. I've seen pretty jarring transitions where the CG goes still and it doesn't look like CG anymore. It looks like you're just looking at a 2D image, and then they start moving again. You're like, oh, what the freak am I looking at? It's really weird. That Chainsaw Man didn't do that. Chainsaw Man didn't have any of that so far anyway. So I think Mappa's doing a good job.
Yeah.
What I think my favorite part so far, what they're doing though, is just the background artwork. I think the backgrounds have been incredible. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just very, very visually appealing to look at. They just did a good job.
Like every time there's just like all the detail, like every little detail, like they really put their brush strokes to work.
I think they just know they know that this is the show.
Yeah.
This may be the anime of the year. So
Yeah, they wanted to put a lot of their effort into it.
yeah, I mean, look at the time of when it's coming out too, though. This is coming out like
at the end
of the year, you know.
Yeah, it's like, and also the backgrounds, but also like usually like characters in anime, even like when they have amazing backgrounds, they don't have much detail. Well, like what am I trying to say? Like they don't have like excessive detail like backgrounds as much because they want to try to keep it moving. But these characters seem to have a lot of like excessive detail and they kept them moving. And it's like I think every time you could kind of see Denji's ribs, like when he was like shirtless and it's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, that's true because that like obviously it's like the tell that he's starving.
Yeah.
But like it is the detail where a lot of other shows might not have that kind of a detail.
Yeah,
I agree. That does help a lot. It goes a long way anyway.
And yeah, that's all I have to say about the animations. They put a lot of money into it. They're like, this is the show. We're gonna put as much money as we can. I think they put more money into it than Attack on Titan.
I wonder if it's gonna become obvious which episodes have the lower budgets.
It's
because of that.
It's probably the more lower, relaxed ones. Like, and even then, like, they probably won't be moving a lot.
I bet next episode will be one of the low budget ones.
Yeah.
Just knowing what comes next in the series.
Or maybe they'll just flex and say, "Hey, we're gonna make it all."
Yeah, they
good.
could just say, "Oh, screw you guys! No low budget episodes."
Yeah, when it comes to
No
anime
complaints for
production,
me.
like, it's usually key scenes. Like sometimes, like they'll like JoJo, like people were kind of mocking the final battle, like before the Blu-ray release, because they thought, oh, they're gonna save up the budget, but clearly they had budget cut arounds. Like they cut corners in some places because like it's the end of the series and they're trying to manage the budget.
It does make me curious
Yeah.
to see like what the Blu-ray release of Chainsaw Man will look like and how much of a difference it's gonna make.
Yeah, there might be just little tiny touches you probably won't even notice because it looks amazing already.
Yeah. It might add a little bit more detail, polish a little bit more.
Although sometimes Denji's hair, like, I guess maybe just the shadows, but sometimes it looks really weird. Maybe because like it's his shadowing and it like just looks like kind of a solid object. And they
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it. I'll have to look
Yeah.
out for that then. Interesting.
Hopefully they're not gaslighting us by making the first episode amazing
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything else is just
Well,
a
by the
trash
by the
fire.
previews, it
No, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Like we already said, this is the show of the year probably. So
Yeah.
they're trying to make it top tier. Plus, like Chainsaw Man's just incredibly popular as is. So
yeah.
So before we end the non-spoiler section, I just wanted to point out I'll try to do this every single week, but for content-wise, what we saw in episode 1 was just the entirety of chapter 1 of the manga.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. It was literally just adapted almost one for one.
Yeah.
They didn't do a lot of like one for one panel recreations like they do in a lot of other anime, but it was a retelling of the entire story of chapter 1.
I like when studios do that where they like don't recreate it, but they kind of captured in their own way.
Yeah, it's almost like their
Yeah.
own art. It's weird.
Yeah.
I like a bit of both. Like, I was really expecting to see a lot of the iconic panels of him jumping out of the zombies or into the zombie devil at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't that bad because like they did it in CG. I wonder if like it would have looked really bad in CG, which is maybe why they didn't. I don't know. But regardless, yeah, one chapter. I'm expecting next episode to cover chapters 2, 3, and 4, maybe 5, but probably not 5.
Yeah.
But 2, 3, 4 is my guess.
These chapters do move quick, so they could probably cover more than the usual manga.
do you think, or I guess, is it confirmed that they're going to cover every single chapter of the?
I don't think it's
manga?
confirmed at all. We'll find out. Like we'll be able to pick out which chapters they skip if they skip any. But where Chainsaw Man already is just so compact and condensed, I don't know if you can skip anything.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, do you think 2 or 3 seasons I could get through all 11 volumes?
Oh yeah,
2 or 3.
Yeah.
They do. I think they do.
This-
all
like I
11
said,
volumes
this-
in season
this-
1.
Oh, you think?
Maybe.
Like doing
There's-
12 or 24?
It'd be a 24 episode, but I
Yeah.
bet they break it up into 12 episode bits.
Yeah, like give a break and then come back in like it was April to
Yeah.
do the second part.
For context, chapter 1s of most mangas are longer than every other chapter just because they're introducing the series and
Trying to hook people.
trying to hook people.
Yeah.
So, for context, volume 1 of the manga literally a third of this is chapter 1. Chapter 1 ends
Yeah, it's like usually 50 pages.
like right here, and then you got the next couple chapters, which is where I think the next episode is, and then the last episode. So I think we get 3 episodes out of volume 1, for example.
It's
so maybe 30 episodes if you really want to flesh it out, but I'm sure a lot of things will go a lot faster than others. Like talking scenes and
fight scenes too.
Fight scenes for sure go faster. So.
Yeah, for every new serialization and like a show, like a weekly series, it's usually like 50 episodes, 70 episodes. It's like if it's like a well-known author like coming out with a new series, like, but it's usually just 50 pages. Yeah.
We do know right now though that Chainsaw Man will be 12 episodes for what we're getting right now for the fall season. So. Who knows what that means in the future? We might do a season 1 part 7 in the future.
Yeah.
And it is Mappa, so
we'll
see.
Oh man, that it's funny. A lot of people get pissed for JoJo, like for Netflix chopping up JoJo. Yet they don't say anything when they're doing the final season. I bet some people are, but they're not as mad.
There's a lot of memes at the Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
there's a lot of memes.
But compared to JoJo's animation compared to Mappa's, like, it's clearly they put a lot more detail. Now JoJo looks fine, but Mappa just they're
a whole nother level,
going full.
Yeah,
gear.
They're like the top tier animation studio.
Yeah,
well, I would say honestly, I'd put Ufotable above Mappa, but Mappa's pretty dang close.
Who does Your Name guy? Who does all his stuff?
That's Comics Wave.
Yeah,
and apparently there's a new movie from. Makoto Shinkai is coming out with a new movie. So
yeah, it's either the end of this month or beginning of November.
So what does Ufotable do then?
Demon Slayer,
and Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, the Fate series,
and that Genshin Impact anime coming out.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps up our non-spoiler section. You guys have any other things to throw out real quick before we head out to spoilers territory?
No, I mean, I guess the only other thing I was gonna say is. The first chapter really sets up literally like how Denji was kind of just a broken piece of trash. Like when he has Puchita with him the whole time, right? The Chainsaw Devil. In my head, as soon as I saw that, I was like, dang, if I was Denji, I would chop that bastard up that keeps the dude that's giving him all these jobs and then taking all the money. I was like, dude, I would have just... But granted, he is getting money from that guy.
You get attacked by that. You get attacked by his guys, like his employees and stuff, though.
That guy was
I bet he could have taken him with the chainsaw.
That guy was a...
No, they got guns. Bop, bop.
That guy was an absolute jerk-ass for just saying to kids like that his dad hung himself. He didn't pay his rent. Huh. Well, I guess you'll take care of the kid. It's like, wow.
$30 million debt.
I know it's supposed to show like how bad his life is because like the people like just some pure evil, but like I don't think anyone would do that to a kid. That's pure evil.
And I guess a question that came to my mind too while watching this is like, what kind of parents did Denji have where he's literally just a freaking puppy dog?
Well, his mom's dead.
Yeah, his mom died of some heart disease.
How old do we think he is when his parents died? Like 10, 11?
I think he was like 10.
Yeah,
something like that.
So I guess he still is pretty young, but I don't know. I just feel like when I was around that age, sure, I listened to a lot of what people said, but I also was like, kind of had my own attitude.
Yeah.
Denji just says yes to anything. He's
a
fake
dog.
Eats a cigarette. Yeah, he is a dog. But I don't know. I just thought it's very fun and fit. Well, not fun, but it's very fitting. Just that whole first episode. You know who Denji is.
Oh, yeah. It paints the picture. You know exactly what you're looking at. You know what you're going to get. And it's fun to see where that character can grow because he is just down in the dirt already.
And I guess
also worst dad ever for like just hanging himself and not like having a contingency plan for Denji. Yeah, he's just like,
well, good luck, Denji.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. And the other
thing... I guess depression, you don't care about anything, even probably your family, so yeah, he probably just didn't care.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was interesting, just because it's a manga that we read, is I didn't think about the fact that he's Chainsaw Man. And chainsaws are freaking loud. Like, of course,
Yeah.
you see
Oh
this,
yeah.
you see
You
this,
just
yeah, of course you see the sound effects and stuff in the manga, but
Yeah.
during that fight scene, I was just like,
there's a lot of chainsaw sounds.
yeah, but they did a good job with, balancing it out.
You know,
And
it's kind of funny how Pochita, when he like comes up to Denji, like he makes like a sound like he has
Yeah.
an engine in his ass.
Well, it's interesting because like I expected the chainsaw sounds when Denji was fighting. I never, for some reason, in my mind expected
Yeah.
Pochita to make those same
I
sounds
thought
when he
it
was
makes-
like revving him. Like,
Yeah.
of course he would,
Yeah.
but like,
yeah,
No, I was in
was
the same
expecting
boat.
some kind of sound or something,
little baby
Yeah,
chainsaw?
like a
Yeah,
sound.
but it's just like chainsaws in and of themselves are freaking annoying. It's like nobody likes to listen to chainsaws
Yeah.
except for Eno.
That's why you hear. That's why you have a headphones over when you're working
get it.
lumber. You know.
yeah, I don't get it.
I guess it's not just chainsaw sounds. She likes construction sounds and hot boys whispering in her ear.
Oh, from Love Is War. I was like, how many Enos are there? There's like so many.
I thought you were talking about Eno from Guilty Gear or something.
I
That's like-
went right to Naruto.
Yeah.
That, I won't lie. So I'm just like, what the freak is he talking?
But yeah, like chainsaws are annoying to listen to. Nobody likes listening to them. But like I said, it was just something that I didn't think about because you read the manga and you're just like, yeah, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I don't know.
having chainsaw.
It's just kind of a dumb thing that I'm just like, I'm dumb. Why didn't I pick up on that? The thing in it of itself is not dumb. I'm dumb, is what I'm trying to say.
It's okay, Sky. We
Thanks.
still like you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, that wraps up our non-spoiler section of the podcast. If you do not want to hear spoilers, stop now. Do not proceed. You have been warned. From here on out, full-on manga spoilers. If you've not finished the manga, you probably don't want to hear anything we're going to say either.
Yeah.
Because we're literally just going to let loose, even up to the most recent chapter. 3, 2,
This is
1.
for manga readers only.
Yeah, 3, 2,
So,
1. Cut off. Go.
Can I start?
Yeah, final warning. You get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it,
Manga
Sky.
readers only at this point. Come in.
Makima, and she probably says this in the manga, but I just didn't pick up on it. She says, "Wow, you smell
You
different."
smell different.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh!"
You're just like, that's the end. That's the end of the thing. She did the thing.
Fujimoto freaking knows, dude. He
Oh,
had the ending in sight. I'm like, dang, literally, dang.
Right from the beginning.
You don't
have the
smell
end,
like a
yep.
human or a devil. And I'm just
Yep.
like, I about cried. I was just like,
You remember my video where I talk about he throws things in plain sight, but it's so subtle and so off the wall you would never get it? That's literally the number one thing I was thinking of when I have that in my mind. Side note, really quick. You guys were talking about Denji's dad dying. Do you guys remember how he died?
Suicide? Hanging?
Denji kills him.
Oh.
It's revealed later on that Denji's the one that killed his dad.
I couldn't even remember. Because he blocks it out.
He blocks
doesn't
it
he?
out. That door that's in the intro, that's in all these things that they're like, don't open the door, Denji.
So
Open it up.
the
He sees
doors
his
are
dead
memories.
dad.
I always thought that
He's trying to hide from that memory of
Yeah.
killing his dad.
I always thought that the
Man.
door was like, don't open the door, Genji, because he opens the door and that's when power.
I mean, that's just symbolic of
Okay.
people dying because there's people dying on the other side of the door, and also with Aki.
How does he kill his dad again? I can't remember.
Oh, it doesn't say. We just know he did it.
He okay.
Yeah.
He probably hung him or something, I imagine, because that's where they say it there. But yeah, that's so. When you guys were saying that, I was just like, they don't remember. They really don't.
Yeah, I don't
Uh-uh.
remember. That's like a small part in the manga.
It's such a subtle thing, but like it's a big note for his character.
Yeah, it is kind
Yeah.
of a big deal. I don't know why
So
I don't remember
Going
that.
forward, think about that whenever like
You
he's
see a
like
door.
when you see the
Yeah.
door and he's like hesitating. Think about that. Like think about what he's blocking.
Is
behind
that like
door.
halfway through the manga?
No, you don't
series?
learn that to like the very end.
Okay.
That's like volume
Oh.
11 or
So-
10.
Power's dead before that though, right?
Yeah. You
'Cause-
find out
Right.
he killed his dad after Paradise.
See, I guess in
pretty
my head
sure.
when I read it, I was like, that's the door thing.
Yeah.
It has been like a year and a half since I've read Chainsaw Man. Though. It's been
Yeah,
really
it's
long.
been a while.
Yeah, and I recently just barely read the whole thing. So that's the only reason I really picked up
That's
on that
why
stuff.
I'm going back to Hunter x Hunter and not just jumping to where the anime left off.
Just
Because
to start over.
I really want to know what happens. Because if I start reading the manga, the arc where the manga left off, and be like, I don't remember half of this stuff.
Yeah.
What happened before?
It's super interesting. There's a lot of like little subtle things that are said in that very first episode / chapter 1. Things like the zombie devil saying, if you eat him, he won't be able to come back. in reference to later on
He was
when
telling the zombies to eat Denji.
Eat Denji so that Denji, because Denji comes out of the trash and he's like, he's alive. Those dang devil hunters always come back. Like if you eat him, he won't come back. It's in reference how if the chainsaw devil eats a devil, they can't come back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like subtle things like that throughout the beginning.
I think it's only the chainsaw devil though.
Yeah, the chainsaw devil.
But that's just like
Denji too. I mean, like Denji is the chainsaw devil.
Yeah, but so hold on, Thane. I think I know where you're going. Is I think he's saying to eat him because Denji in and of himself would be gone. But it's if Denji eats somebody, their entire existence is erased. Okay. So it is different.
So isn't eating? Does it mean like he just cuts them down with a chainsaw? Or is he like
no? He eats them
like physically. Like at the end of the manga.
I think the zombie devil was just talking about eating Denji's
just to
body.
kill him.
Just to kill him.
Yeah,
because he was gonna come back.
And then, because there's also that part where he's in hell and he kills the demons, and they say if you kill a demon in hell, they will be erased.
No, if you eat them,
incorrect.
If he eats them, right?
If you kill a devil in hell, they are born into the real world.
Oh, okay.
If Chainsaw Man eats them, then they're erased.
If he eats them in hell, they're erased
anywhere.
Oh, just
anywhere. So that's little. There's a picture. We might not see it during this arc of the anime, but there's a picture later on. It'll show how that one scene when Denji's like not even Denji anymore. Chainsaw Man basically just takes over. He's all black looking. There's a scene of that Chainsaw Man eating devils and stuff like that on top of like a mountain or something like that, and that's when you learn about it. Yeah. So Chainsaw Man eats a devil. That's why. The other thing is right when the pile of zombies are on top of Denji, and all of a sudden you hear the chainsaw man start to rev, and then the zombie devil kind of has like a bit of a shudder, almost like, what are you? Because he knows that sound is the chainsaw devil, and like that sound is feared in hell because the devils don't want to be eaten by him. Like that's another thing.
So, I mean, I guess you'll have to remind me if it is a thing, but like Puchita's kind of a big deal. And I feel like we never really get that. We never get the background of the chainsaw devil, other than everybody's scared of him.
That's all you really need to know.
Yeah.
Puchita is the chainsaw devil.
I guess it would be interesting if we ever did get some background on it, but like I guess you're right, it's not really needed. But
like that is the background. Puchita's the chainsaw devil. There's nothing else to it. The only reason like he was in a fight or something, and that's why he looks like all doggy-like.
That was another thing I was going to point out. Those look like bullet holes in Puchita when he was bleeding.
Yeah. I don't remember if that's specifically the gun devil, but I mean
that was like when I saw it. That's what I thought it was. I was just like, those are bullet holes.
Yeah. I thought viper fangs, but bullet holes make more sense too. Especially the way they were bleeding. They would bleed kind of like that.
I guess another thought I had. Sorry, real quick. This is my last thought, and you guys can talk. Another telltale sign of Denji's character too, though, especially in that episode, was he was feeling bad for his bosses, for lack of a better term, when they gave up to the zombie devil. He was just like, they were just trying to make their life better. Maybe I wasn't grateful enough when it was just me and Puchita. I'm like, bro, this guy literally had nothing, and he still feels bad about it. It's just like, dang. He really, I don't know. He's like he's smart, dumb, endearing, and just broken. I don't know. Denji's such an interesting character for me, and you get all of that in the first episode, and I think it's beautiful. It's just a good, horrible start at the bottom. There's nowhere else to go, but up. It's as low as he can get. So I don't know. Interesting.
Thinking about adapting chapters, like I just realized the one where it introduces the gun devil and he kills people, then shows the names.
Yeah,
I think that chapter is right there. It's just like a 2-minute cold opening.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. That's the beginning of the chapter. Very side note, if we won't get to that part of the anime until next year, the second part. But when we do get to that part and it shows all the names, it'll probably be in Japanese. But if they do decide to localize and put it in English, look at one of the names. One of the names is Aki Awakawa. Or Hayakawa, excuse me. Hayakawa.
But that's
when he dies.
In that chapter?
Remember at the very end when he dies and becomes the gun fiend?
Yeah.
It's because he dies right there, and then Makima makes him the fiend.
Who's Aki Kawahawa again?
Aki Hayakawa? It's
Hayakawa.
Aki.
He's ponytail, right?
Oh, yeah. Shoot. Oh, that.
So his name is
Wow.
on the list. His name's one of the.
That's
the
I never
mind-blowing.
picked up on that.
I was when I was rereading, I was looking over the list and I was just like, no effing way, his name's in there too.
That's very
Oh.
subtle.
It's so subtle too.
Is it at the very end?
Yeah, it's like when it shows the scene of like Makima and all the people like to the side of
Yeah.
her and Aki and the angels to the left and right of her. Aki's name is like right above him.
Dang.
Yeah, it's in plain sight. One of those just in plain sight things.
So you see that
puts-
before he dies, right? Or after?
Well, he's dead. That's why his name's on there.
But
you see his body.
Denji hasn't fought him, though?
No, Denji hadn't fought him yet. He dies before he becomes the gun fiend.
Dang, man.
That's just a messed up chapter. It's like so short. Like, well, it's a normal page, but it's just like the last few pages just full spread just names. It's so eerie and chilling.
It's
You're like,
super eerie.
oh god.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say regarding chapter 1.
Yeah.
Or rather, episode 1, basically the same thing. I mean, we're going to be getting into more stuff. I'm sure I'll remember more stuff as we go, but look out for little subtleties. Remember what you can of the series as we go, just because you'll be able to point out things. You'll be like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like,
Yeah.
like that's it. That's the thing. Exactly, yeah. You're going to be doing that occasionally because you're like, oh, shoot, that's the ending thing they're making reference. But
Dang, so this
Good
definitely
stuff.
is probably a series I should reread and just... It's like one of those, you read it once, awesome, and then you reread it again, you're like, whoa.
it's a fun reread. It really is.
I'll probably I'll probably just watch the anime and that'll be my reread or
Yeah,
my
I mean, I don't
watch,
think
because
it's a bad idea either.
Yeah, because it's just this. I'm pretty sure it's just one for one. I'll catch what I remember. It's like, wow, I didn't know that, and maybe the anime will even highlight some stuff that the manga may have been more subtle to, and you're like,
Plus,
wow.
now that it's going to be an anime, it's going to be more widespread, so more
Yeah.
people are going to be talking about it, and you'll be able to pick up on that stuff more, I bet.
I wonder if I should join the Chainsaw Man subreddit. Is it a good time?
Yeah, it's okay. It's no Titan folk back in the day.
yeah,
Was that like
Right
peak
now-
Reddit for you?
Oh, that was literally peak Reddit
Yeah.
for me. Freaking Attack on Titan manga, and like every single month, just so many freaking.
we're in
memes of the
chainsaw
current-
folk. We're in chainsaw folk.
Chainsaw Folk's
territory.
nowhere
yeah.
near as good as Titan Folk ever was, though.
Yeah, is chainsaw folk just like full manga spoilers?
Yo, yeah,
No.
all the time. Full manga spoilers all
Yeah.
the time.
But then
And
what
this
was Chainsaw Man subreddit? If it wasn't full, I guess they marked the spoilers.
Yeah,
right?
they would mark the spoilers.
But Chainsaw Folk's just raw.
No, yeah, they don't mark anything.
Just raw, no rubber, no condom on that chainsaw.
Just destroy anyway. So I guess before we end, let's just briefly talk about the current arc of this series in the manga. Do you guys like what it's doing? Do you like how it's kind of doing like this split per protagonist kind of thing, where Denji's kind of the protagonist, but also Asa is?
I think it's fine because in my head I'm like, well, they're just trying to build up the villain,
Yeah.
so maybe we'll have some
I
either
think it's-
attachment or more resentment for her.
I think it's Tatsuki Fujimoto's way of subtly saying, I'm writing a new series, so I'm just going to have a new protagonist.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he doesn't like to write the same series. Like, when he did Fire Punch, one and done. Then he did Chainsaw Man, really short. And the more people want Chainsaw Man, it's like, I'm going to make something new.
Question then. I guess this is more of just our predictions, but do you think Asa kills Chainsaw Man in the end?
I don't, personally.
I think they get together.
See, that's what I thought the same thing. I was like, Denji wants a girlfriend so effing bad. They met in the beginning. She really wants to kill him, but like, I think they hook up.
Or I think it'll be tragic where she like falls in love, and then either she dies or Denji dies. It's probably her, but
And knowing
or they could twist in Denji dies and she's like, no, I was supposed to die.
knowing Fujimoto, like it seems like he likes to end things on pretty melancholy notes.
Yeah,
But maybe that's why this
Although,
one
who
would
knows,
end happy.
maybe that's
Maybe
how to end
Denji's life-
Chainsaw Man. It's like, I'm gonna kill Chainsaw Man, and I don't have to write this anymore.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I'm curious about at this point is just like where are some of the other characters that made it through the original arc? People like Kishibe and Kobeni. I mean, we already
Yeah.
saw the octopus devil guy.
I wonder
I
if
forget
the
his name, but he's the other dude that's been hanging out with Denji.
yeah.
The
I
one
wonder
that
if
takes him to buy
the
cakes.
Bomb
and stuff.
Devil's
Yeah.
gonna come back. The angel one.
Oh,
Yeah,
they might, but it would be
Yeah.
a different version of
Yeah.
themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Blood Fiend or the Blood
And
Devil.
yeah,
it won't
Blood
be
Devil,
Power, but it'd be
yeah.
the same devil.
and he's like, "Power, it's you, Power." It's like, oh wait, I forgot, you're not Power.
Like, I'm also curious about the new control devil, the little girl that he
Mhm.
kind of like
Yeah.
takes in after.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen her yet, so I'm curious when she'll show up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's exciting though. This is one of those shows where or I guess stories rather,
Yeah.
that it's really hard to predict.
Yeah, you just never freaking know.
No.
It's kind of nerve wracking when Asa is gonna do that thing again she did with the teacher.
Just instantly turn somebody into a demon or a
Blade.
weapon. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's like, oh god, who's she gonna do that to next? This random schmuck is just gonna be right there. She's gonna and turn him into an arm
Maybe it'll be one of her
cannon. His face
bullies.
is-
That'll be the
Oh.
fight. She'll get one of her bullies.
Well,
to
she
be
brought a
weapon.
sword, so
yeah, she had a sword. So
Yeah.
she didn't necessarily need one, but we'll see. Anything else? I think about wraps us up.
yeah.
Next week we'll be talking about episode 2. We're going to be talking about the next episode or next chapter of Chainsaw Man as well. We got a double header basically. We won't be talking about the manga forever. It's basically just
Yeah.
going to be while this little mini series is going. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for enjoying with us. We've enjoyed Chainsaw Man as a whole lot. Thanks to Thane, we've all gotten into it. It's literally because of this man right here that we are watching this series now. Honestly, if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be doing this podcast, to be honest. It's because anime.
Yeah, interesting.
Good job, Thane. You did it.
You
Give me
weaved us
knuckles.
out.
Let's all go buy chainsaws.
Let's have a chainsaw fight.
Yeah.
We'll freaking Gears of War on each other.
Gears of War 2 Lancer duel.
And we'll see you guys next week. Also, don't forget to check out the main episodes where we're going over our anime book club style. Currently, we're doing 91 days. We are necessarily done with it, but
Yeah.
the episode you'll see after this will be the 91 days episode. So
And-
look forward to that.
And I guess the next one will be revealed.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
episode.
Also, let us know what kind of shows you're watching this season besides Chainsaw Man. We'd love to hear in the comments. Also, let us know your favorite moments from this episode. Try to keep it
Yeah.
spoiler free just in case. But let us know what you like about
I guess
the
my
series so
favorite
far.
moment is just the the corpse demon fight.
Yeah.
It's the pinnacle of action. Episode 1, it's got a banger action scene.
Oh, it really does. They did a good job. Chapter 1,
It
episode
shows you how
1.
powerful he is. Like there's
He didn't even know what he was doing. He's just
so many
flailing
freaking
around.
bodies
half the
on
time.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to fight yet. He's just kind of
As love how they went over the
Yeah.
top with the gore. There's no TV, like there's no black bar sensors. Like there's just straight, just like explosion everywhere. It's like I love it.
And with that, guys, we will see you next week. Have a good one. Have a great life. And keep it Daijoubu.
We love you.
Daijoubu, we love you.
Daijoubu,
Bye-bye.
we love you.
Brum, brum, brum.